Sakamoto Days has plenty of really cool characters. You have your fan favorites for the likes of Takamura, Gaku, Shishiba, and Nagumo, but there's one character that is super underrated and forgotten by a lot of the community, and that character is Siba. So why is Siba so underrated? In order to get a sense of why I think Siba is so underrated, we need to take a look at his character as a whole, delving into his design, personality, aura, and overall contribution to the plot, so let's get into it. Design-wise, Siba, at least in the present manga, is just straight up cool. I'll be honest, the old Siba design from when he was introduced back in chapter 20 was definitely a little rough, but Suzuki gave him a glow up and now he's just hot. One thing that has stayed consistently good for Siba's design though is his invisibility suit. Not only does the page that first shows off his invisibility suit literally ooze aura, but each and every subsequent use of it always looks incredible. The way Suzuki draws background objects subtly bending around where Siba's body is, the lightning effects that show up each time Siba activates the suit, and even the design of the suit itself when it isn't invisible are all just straight up eye candy, and it's always fun having Siba on the panel because of them. Beyond this, Siba just has drip. His JCC Weapons Division jacket is honestly really dope and I kinda want one. And along with this, Siba's headphones give him this urban streetwear vibe that legitimately looks like it was taken off a Pinterest board. Overall, Siba's design looks great, and he might have a top 5 drip in the series, but it's only part of the reason why I think he deserves to be considered the most underrated character. Another major factor playing into Siba's likability is his personality. He's laid back and chill, but also recognizes when he has to lock in and genuinely cares for other people. When he's first introduced, it's easy to get the impression that Siba is this overconfident, snobby brat, but I also kind of like this overly easy attitude. He's kind of like Nagumo, but with less enthusiasm. Of course, this doesn't work nearly as well as it does for Nagumo, mainly because Siba is kind of a bum in terms of strength, but as the story goes on, we get to see that there's layers to Siba's character. Siba appears nonchalant, relaxed, and probably a little lazy to most people, and I understand that it's easy to dislike him because of this, but as the story unfolds, we get to learn that Siba's actually a really caring guy. When Mafuyu gets captured by X's gang, Siba makes it a priority to figure out where he is, going so far as to help Shin and Akira in taking down Satada. He reveals his weapon-making abilities, outfitting Shin with a power glove, and helping the group create a plan to land a solid blow on Satada so that she can tell them about the database. Later on, as the JCC is being invaded, Siba initially seems like a fraud as he pulls up on Club Jam and just straight up offers to tell him where the database is as long as Club Jam tells him where Mafuyu is. Of course, this turned out to be a trick, with Siba really just trying to get the best of both worlds, and I respect him for taking that risk. Club Jam eventually does realize that Siba lied, but even then, Siba kinda holds his ground in a quick scrap with him, and he ultimately gets bodied, but it's here that we get to see another reason why he's the GOAT. As Club Jam hypnotizes Siba, he makes Siba bring him to the database, in turn revealing that the database is actually just Amane's grandpa. This allows Siba to get into a fight with Shin, however, this just ends up being another opportunity for Siba to show his analytical abilities, as it's revealed that he was never actually under hypnosis and instead decided to act like he was in an attempt to get information about Mafuyu and take down Club Jam in a single instance. This actually almost works, as Club Jam was definitely tricked by Siba's acting, not only allowing Siba to learn of where Mafuyu is, but also setting him up for a combo from Shin and Siba, dealing pretty significant damage. Unfortunately, Club Jam is still standing after the combo and manages to hypnotize Amane to make him fight Shin and Siba, but this just gives another opportunity for the GOAT to prove himself. As Club Jam catches Shin from behind and is getting ready to impale him, Siba pulls up with a stun gun to stop him, telling Shin to deal with the hypnotized Amane while he deals with Club Jam. Of course, at this point in the story, Siba is still really weak, so Club Jam literally starts off-screening him, but the fact that Siba was more than willing to scrap with Club Jam if it meant that Shin could deal with the Amane situation automatically means he has that dog in him. We have some more minor instances of Siba showing his more caring side, like when he checks up on Shin after the fight with Club Jam, or when he offers to fix the power glove for Shin anytime he requests it, but the real major event that adds so much depth for Siba's character comes from the Okutabi Museum arc. In this arc, we find out the backstory for both Mafuyu and Siba, revealing to us why they have their goals and shedding light on how they are as people. In Mafuyu's flashback, it's shown that both him and Siba come from an abusive household. Their dad makes them train in the mountains every day to make them strong and bring honor to the family just so he can make up for the fact that he was too much of a bum to get into the order. Even as far back in time as this flashback is, Siba is still shown to care for his brother, creating him his signature heel blade so that he doesn't have to get his hands dirty. When their dad finds all of Siba's weapons, Siba takes the fall and puts all blame on himself to spare Mafuyu from the abuse, and most of all, when their dad decides that he's gonna send Mafuyu to Alkamar to make him into an order member, Siba steps up, saying that he'll go instead and get into the order so long as Mafuyu isn't sent. Once the flashback ends, Siba has a dope entrance, freezing Osaragi with one of his freeze bombs and saving both Shin and Mafuyu. Immediately after this, Siba removes the bomb implanted into Mafuyu's body, and when Shin is injured from the explosion, Siba once again shows his compassion, immediately pulling up on him to make sure he's okay. So as a whole, I just love Siba's character. He's chill, relaxed, and definitely appears a little apathetic and snarky, but he really does care and is more than willing to put his life on the line for the important people in his life. He's always saving people like Shin, whether it be directly or indirectly, and I think that added depth really does wonders to make his personality really likable. Aura-wise, Siba definitely has his moments. His first use of the invisibility suit literally oozes aura, and from then on, he always just looks cool. He isn't the strongest character around and has actually gotten cooked in the only 2 fights he's ever had, but it's in his willingness to scrap with people even if they greatly outmatch him in strength that gives him his aura. Moreover, since Siba knows he's outmatched physically, he ends up relying more on his gadgets and brain power to give him the edge in a fight, which I think makes for a really unique fighting style that once again adds to his aura. Moments like Siba using the invisibility suit to cloak his arm, making Heisuke think that he actually just shot off Siba's arm, him putting Club Jam in a tough spot over the incinerator, and his "you're playing with me" moment against Club Jam really seem to just say that Siba's kinda that guy, which makes me like him even more. And plot-wise, Siba has actually contributed a lot. His fake out on Club Jam allowed the gang to learn of where Mafuyu was being kept, prompting the whole Thailand arc. Along with this, him helping Shin and Akira allowed them to actually learn about the database from Satada, giving further information on Uzuki and revealing the existence of the Alkamar orphanage and the orphans to the entire audience. Lastly, you have his contributions during the museum arc itself, including saving Shin and Mafuyu from Osaragi, opening the doors to allow Kashima in, which eventually allowed Gaku to fight Takamura, and later going on to save Amane from Osaragi as well. Overall, for a character that has a relatively low screen time, he's always doing something important and always manages to move the plot forward in a significant way. All in all, Siba is kinda that guy. He's got a cool design that not only looks great but has functionality, a layered personality that is both entertaining on a surface level read and on a deeper dive into his motivations, moments that radiate aura, and a solid track record of significantly contributing to the story despite his limited screen time. With all of this in mind, I think it's pretty fair to say that Siba is Sakamoto Days' most underrated character.